The vocations of Dragon's Dogma 2 are the very basis for interacting with the game. Your experience changes from one to another, and if you played all of them, then you know how deep some of the skills on them can be. Today, I want to go over one tip for each vocation. Some may be helpful in a fight, and some may be helpful while exploring the world. Either way, I hope some of these are helpful or even surprising. So let's get started with the quintessential RPG class, the Knight, or in the case of Dragon's Dogma 2, the Fighter. Throughout the world, there are multiple gates which are locked from one side only. On Fighter, you can use the launch board skill to throw your pawn to the other side and have them break the gate's board. Although this only works on gates that you can actually get over the top of it. So, none of the ones in the caves, I guess. The Warrior vocation is for those who want to play as a tanky damage dealer, utilizing strong charging attacks with great defense. So it makes sense that the Warrior would be able to take some hits. When in battle, if an enemy attack is about to land and will stagger you, you can activate a skill to prevent that stagger. This can work on a lot of attacks from giant enemies as well. However, it doesn't always prevent stagger, and some attacks can break it. But for the most part, you'll be able to withstand most attacks and still be able to launch your counterattack. The daggers are a quick weapon to use, but sometimes can lack a little bit of range. A good way to extend your attack distance by a good amount is to dodge and then use a light attack. It will let you attack foes from far away very quickly. When using Levitate, you probably know that you can hold the button to levitate higher. I actually had no idea, as I never used Mage on its own and rather opt for Warfarer. I actually saw a pawn do it and was blown away. Anyways, when holding the button, you can actually extend the duration of Levitate by just a little. My guess is that while gaining altitude, the duration of Levitate is paused and resumes when the height increase ends. So there's never really a good reason to not levitate as high as possible. You may just be able to cross that gap that you've been wanting to. On Sorcerer, the High Sizism spell summons large rocks to deal damage from below and has a pretty decent range. And while in the Unworld world, it's perfect to use against all the Purgeners. It hits multiple of the weak points at once and will stagger them quite often.
Elves of the Armor have long treasured these woods. It would sadden them to see it defiled by this creature.
This strategy actually really helped me on my second run of the Unworld world. And as soon as I found it, it was pretty much my go-to option to do damage. I hate climbing that freaking worm.
Holy! Look at all this damage!
Archer is the go-to choice for long-range action. And one advantage of that is being able to thin the herd at a safe distance. A good way you can achieve this on Archer is to use Lycian Sight. When using this, you can zoom into a group of enemies and hit just one. Only that enemy will be alerted to your presence, and will draw them near to you. This can be useful to lure one enemy at a time and make for a safe way to clear paths. Just keep in mind that arrows actually do have fall off, meaning the arrow doesn't fly in a straight line but rather a curve, becoming more dramatic the further it flies. The Fire Fang arrow is a fire element attack, but you can control it by holding your button for pinpoint volley, and then you can activate the skill to control the Fire Fang arrow. This way you can safely scout ahead with much more freedom than the ghost form on Trickster, and it doubles as an attack. This is very helpful for missions where knowing what's ahead of you can save you a lot of time, like the riddle for the Sphinx to protect the pot on the way to Bak Batal. Or you can use it to nuke all those mother freaking hiding goblins before they can jump you. Getting staggered is very annoying in Dragon's Dogma 2, and it can happen quite often, although Mystic Spearhand has a way to sort of mitigate it. You can charge your Redoubted Bolt and release at the right time to reduce the time for you to recover. It can also act as an animation cancel for some moves. This one is helpful for those of us who need a bit of help finding our Finder's tokens, or just secret tokens in general. But the Augment Detection earned on Trickster can actually alert you to nearby Finder's tokens, hopefully helping you find it when you otherwise wouldn't have. And while it can be used on any vocation, it's important to know only Trickster can unlock it, so make sure to level it up. The Warfare is an amalgamation of all vocations put together, so it's hard to give a tip for it specifically, but something I've started doing is to use 1 or 2 weapons instead of multiple. You can actually get Warfare to play pretty close to some of the vocations from the first game, like Magic Archer, Mystic Knight, or Strider. And not only that, but having fewer weapons will help with stamina, as just to switch from weapon to weapon requires a small chunk. You can see just how much stamina it takes just to make a full rotation of weapons. Hope you don't miss the weapon you want. And it looks like that's all the vocations. So how many of these do you think you might be using in the future? If I'm being honest, I actually found a couple of these while making the video. I had to scrap a couple other tips because I found some that were just better and more helpful. Comment down below if you knew some or all of these. I hope they're interesting regardless though. But I'm going to end the video here, so bye bye!